Hi guys, waxing on Monday, that means jazz. And today we're looking at an album by Dizzy Gillespie. Now I know we talked about Dizzy a couple of times already. In the very early episodes, we looked at greatest jazz concert ever. A concert held in Toronto involving Dizzy, Charlie Parker, Charles Mingus, Max Roach, Bud Powell. We've also had an episode where we just featured Dizzy, and it's a couple of CDs, I believe, near his last couple of recordings. Today I've got one that's really unusual, and it's called Manteca. Now, we know that Dizzy and Charlie Parker were the real big proponents of bebop back in the 40s. And bebop was really a music for quintets, quartets, small groups. What makes this album so unique is it features the Dizzy Gillespie Big Band. Kind of a short-lived group. As far as I know, there were not a lot of recordings of his big band. On here I've got 3 different variations of the big band featured. They list all the players, but there's really about 4 names that really stand out for me out of the members. One being John Lewis on piano, Kenny Clark on drums, Yusef Lateef on saxophone, and the legendary Ray Brown on bass. And these guys really had a career of their own after this band, but they were all together backing up Dizzy with what he was doing. Now, a lot of Dizzy Gillespie originals on here, a few songs that aren't Dizzy's. We've got Dizzier and Dizzier by Count Basie and Gerald Wilson, who we featured both of them on the show prior. Good Bait with Tad Dameron and Count Basie. We've got Walter Fuller doing the Swedish Suite. And other than those, every song on here, Dizzy has something to do with. So let's take a look at the set list here. We've got Manteca, Dizzier and Dizzier, 2 bass hit. And again, that was a really popular song for the small groups that Dizzy played with. Old Man Rebop, Good Bait, Minor Walk, Swedish Suite, and Cubana B, Cubana Bop. Now, that also gives you the idea we're looking at some other Cuban rhythms in there as well. And he had Chano Pauzo playing rhythm section for him on this. So yeah, we've got a few other aspects. And Dizzy was kind of into that world music thing, and again, the Cuban rhythms and the Latin sounds. So that's not unusual either. But for something really different from the usual bebop, Dizzy Gillespie's Big Band. Now, I don't know if this album is even still available. It was on Pickwick Records. Now, Pickwick was a record label that was popular in Canada in the 70s. And it was a discount label. Usually the albums were $2, maybe $3. Not a lot. They were usually reissues of something that had been released older or previously. They were older recordings, and they were just re-releasing them. Now, I've had a couple other Pickwicks we talked about on here. Louis Armstrong's Mame during his episode, Benny Goodman's episode. I think we looked at Benny Goodman's Let's Dance. But for a young guy with not a lot of money, this was a chance to hear some of these groups. Now, yes, was the sound as good as it was in the 70s or 80s when you had the new recordings? No, it wasn't. I mean, these recordings, this one's from 1947. Recording techniques just weren't there yet. So yes, you can hear it's dated, but get past the sound, listen to the music. And again, you'll find some really interesting stuff, a really different idea of taking bebop into the big band arena. So it was Dizzy Gillespie. This one's called Manteca. I don't know of any other albums that were out. This is the only one I have with a big band, that the only one I own. There may be others. And again, something like this, I'm not sure with the Pickwick, are they going to be available online? Yeah, you have to check it out. It might be something that's more apt to be found in the discount bins and well, not even discount bins, because that would mean it's still out and around, they're just getting rid of it. This would be yard sale, secondhand store fare. But, not to say it's not online, I mean, a lot of this stuff is making its way to the streaming network, so check it out there. A chance to hear Dizzy in the big band format, Manteca. That's it for today. See us on Wednesday. This week we're going to feature a couple of different shows. Over the last week, folk legend Gordon Lightfoot's passed away. We're going to go back, even though we've talked about Gordon before, we're going to go back and just do a little tribute to him. And we're also still celebrating Willie Nelson's 90th birthday, so we'll be coming back with some Willie Nelson. So check us out later in the week. Till then, everybody take care, stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.